I want to kind of point out in this area here. So this is our first greenhouse. This is called Alcalfat. We have our insect control team on duty. So I'll show you the form, the system that we're using, the matrix that I was mentioning for the seeding process and what we've decided on, how many, everything. But that translates into our pot tables here. So every Saturday we have a weekly routine of doing all of our seeding. And so we're using a mix that's using a lot of the soil that we've made here. I'll speak about in a second. But we're filling pots and setting them out on the table so that we can put the amount of seeds that we've decided on for each crop. So this table is basically dedicated to lettuce. We do a lot of lettuce each week. Right now we're planting 80 lettuce heads per week. And you can see it's not quite as evident, but these were the last of the ones that we planted this week. And you can see they're nice and big. They're ready to go into the ground. These will be the ones for next week. These nice dark green oak leaf lettuces, including, we do a green and a red each week. Green lettuce, red lettuce, that's all for next week. And then the following week is here. And one
succession planting, yeah.
exactly. And a cool system that we've come up with recently for lettuces is we're doing a tray of, we're just doing a quick scattering of seeds as a backup. And actually the last 2 weeks we've run into needing to use those backups. So the germination rate on the lettuces is usually pretty good, but then you can see out of the 120 seeds that we planted, this was everything that germinated. So 10, 20, 35 plants. So we're down about 50. And so we had our backup tray and we were able to take out 50 more seedlings from the backup tray to complete our 80 plants. So it's a system that we came up with because we have run into fluctuations in germination rate. And with lettuce in particular, we always want to have an abundant amount. So that's something that was a kind of an easy solution for needing to have more seedlings available if we had a germination failure, right? So the following week, we had the same thing. So I'm going to do that again this next week. It's hard to say exactly why things happen in this world. You can come up with a hypothesis, and often it's important to think it out and try to come up with something. But there's so many factors, it's hard to say, like, this is what happened. You know, it could be temperature, it could be sunlight, it could be the seeds themselves, it could be a variety thing, it could be birds that come in and eat the seeds. There's so many factors, right? So I think it's just an example, a good example of coming up with solutions, and also you can see as an example the succession that we're doing. And we're also doing that with all the other crops. So you can see on the other table there's a variety of different things. We have kale, we have cabbage, we have some red cabbage, we have cucumbers, we have celery, we have radishes, basil, tomatoes, broccoli, arugula, and beets over on that table. So each of those has a cycle, and so some of them we're seeding every week, some of them we're seeding every other week, some once a month. So everything is calculated to give us the amount of plants that we need in order to produce a certain amount for the kitchen's needs. At the beginning, we kind of just went for it, and we would have 100 kilos of radishes available, which I use that example because it's kind of like, what do you do with 100 radishes, right? And so we want to make sure that the time and the energy that we're putting into the growing of the plants is something that's gonna produce something that the kitchen can use.
I got a question. These lettuce heads over here, are you seeding those from lettuce that you've grown, like from seed?
All of the lettuce that we're growing is from our own seeds that we've collected.
The seed plants there, yeah.
Yeah, exactly that. Those actually, we're not saving the seeds from that variety, but I left them because I thought you guys would like to see this lettuce is bolting. The one in the bed next to it, that
Christmas tree lettuce.
we are intentionally leaving to save seeds from. Yeah. So those are still a little bit younger, but these ones are giving that example. They're going to seed.
And what's this?
As well? So that's a trap that we use for tuta absoluta, which is a kind of moth that is something that damages especially tomatoes.
And what's the liquid in there?
So, well, the liquid is just soap and water, but the little rubber pellet that's hanging down there from the middle.
Oh
is
yes.
a lure. It's a pheromone.
Oh.
That is, actually, it's the female pheromone that the male moths are attracted to, and then they'll land in the water and they perish in the water.
And these are the moths that get on the cucumbers? Most?
They get into a lot of the two-tab solution is most destructive to the tomatoes, but it's in the kale.
Okay.
It'll go anywhere you let it survive. Really.
And they reproduce very prolifically, so it's important to stay on top of the population. Yeah, you're never going to eradicate insects, but you want to try to have as much of a balance as you can.
So the spiders are on purpose.
Did you create
Is
these
that
water
true, or they just
thingies, or did you buy them?
The drip system?
Yeah.
It's something that we've purchased.
Yeah, there was a company that we worked with that helped to build these greenhouses that did an initial installation of the irrigation lines, but over time we just developed our skill set to all of that ourselves now.
Okay.
So we do all the repairs for it. You see quite a few different like Javes as you walk around. We're kind of just taking whatever materials are.
Do you have the contact info, the people that did this?
Yeah, definitely.
No, this is incredible.
Can you get the contact info for the guy that built the greenhouse for them, so we can alert Rick to
What is the green stuff? The green stuff?
Yeah, there's something. I mean, it's just like a kind of like algae or moss that sometimes happens
Wow.
They ain't playing around, right?
No. Holy shit.
If we had been here a little bit earlier, you could have been here when they were harvesting things. I hope he goes through the whole process, but they literally they come in and they know which bed they pick it from. They take the leaves, they got a scale over there. They're like, it's literally like 750 grams. Picking it tested this much. They're bringing this much in. But this is what we're not doing right now. We're not doing the progression.